Hello everyone, my name is Blockefeller, and I'd like to talk about an awesome Minecraft mod that I built as a submission for the Twitch 2024 Hackathon. This mod allows viewers on your stream to morph into any mob in your world, which is short for mobile entity, in order to potentially mess with your gameplay and challenge your survival experience. It's a pretty fun, interesting, interactive mod for several reasons. It's daytime. Is that Juan?
No.
You motherfucker!
Dog? How did you know it was me?
Oh! No, what the A chick?
Come on, Juan. Come on.
You little shit.
Are you seeing yourself as the animal?
Oh, hell no! Is that you? Is that you? You can't, you need to, no!
Got his ass.
It's got a little bit of prop hunt in this.
I know, this is sick, dude.
Oh shit! No! No! Oh, you started punching.
Come up, Juan.
Oh, I didn't fucking block. Do it. Do it. Yes!
Oh.
Yeah! How did you get in? 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 It even integrates with the Twitch APIs, allowing you to potentially set up like limits on how much mob time your viewers can get. You can have it so they have to donate bits for a certain amount of mob time, or potentially have to sub to a certain tier so that only your most dedicated viewers are able to do this. It's all configurable, and we're going to go into a tutorial of basically how to set up this mod and how it all works. So let's get into it. So first we're going to talk about installation. Now if you're a player, you don't technically need mods. I made sure it could work without mods in case some viewers don't have modding experience, or they see the streamers doing something and they just want to log in quick, right? But if you want to see yourself as a monster, and it might restrict some behaviors like spider climbing if you don't have it, you're going to want to install these mods. So if you have Fabric installed, which the installer is also available, you can download it. I'll leave a link to that in the description. You're going to have this mods folder. I already put them there, but yeah, basically you're going to take these top 3 files, Architecture, Fabric API, this version, and Identity, and put them in your mods folder. If you have, here, let me just copy this. If you have a server to install these mods, you have the same files, except you also include this one. So this is the server mods folder. This is the clients mod folder. And installation is as simple as that for 1.20.1. Now with these mods installed on the server, I forgot to mention you need a Fabric 1.20.1 server, same as the client. There's a whole server install process for that. I would provide it, except to install your own server, you're going to have to like port forward your IP address. There's steps for that. I'd recommend just using a server hosting service. It makes it way easier. You just have an option to install Fabric, and then you just put these 4 files in your mobs folder. But once you have that server, you want to host it publicly so anyone can join. My mods will handle the viewer to streamer interactions perfectly well. So let's now get into in-game setup. So to start, what you want to do, if you're a streamer, you can add yourself as a streamer like so. You want your friends to be added as streamers so that when they die, they don't respawn in spectator mode. However, if you're not a streamer, which, streamer remove Blockefeller, viewers / non-streamers who join your server will join as a viewer, which will put them in spectator mode. But they can right-click a mob to morph into it. As you can see, I'm a cow here. They can right-click the compass to leave the morph, like so. You can right-click, this villager. Now I'm a villager, as you can see. You could also right-click something stronger, like an iron golem. What's really cool is that, mobs you right-click will have abilities. So, for instance, summon Enderman. If I'm an Enderman, then I have this stick here which I can use to teleport around. I also have health equivalent to that mob. I'm going to go to the shade here. Actually, I'll just go inside, okay? Inside this house. I will summon a skeleton. The skeleton, of course, has bows, so they could shoot people. But if I go outside, I'm going to burn up like a skeleton would. So we keep all the mob, abilities and traits. This guy doesn't like me because I'm a skeleton. Here I am respawned as in spectator mode because I died. You'll notice this mob time thing at the top. And so now we're going to talk about how to authenticate with the stream so that according to your configuration, you can get more mob time. So the very first thing you want to do before anything else is register a Twitch app with your Minecraft server. So you are totally allowed to use mine, set Twitch app, client ID, and if you were using mine, you'd enter this client ID like so. There we go, and now it's configured. Then of course, you can, that technically is sufficient, but if you want this to refresh by itself and you don't want to have to keep entering that client ID every hour or so, you can also do /set Twitch app client secret there. And this will allow you to, I'll put that on screen for a sec, generate refresh tokens, or it'll allow your server to automatically. So you shouldn't have a problem re-authenticating. But the downside to using mine, of course, is that you may run into rate limits if too many people are using it. It only allows something like 880 requests per minute, or 20 authentications concurrently, viewers authenticating at once. So if there's like 2 big streamers using it at the same time, it might run into code 429, too many request errors. So that's why I wanted to show you, the streamer, how to make your own application if you wanted to. So you want to go to your dev console, click register application up here. We could call it stream mob control mod app. The redirect URL doesn't matter. It can be localhost 8080. Game integration and confidential. Click I'm not a robot. We're not actually going to create it because terms of service do not let you create, more than one for the same purpose. So that's why I'd recommend each streamer create their own and only one for this mod. But let's assume we have, and it's this one, right? This is what the screen will look like. You'll have your client ID, which again, you can go ahead and punch into. Let me just get this out of the way. Punch into, your app like so, or punch into your server. And then you go back here to get the client secret. That's easy as well. You click new secret here, and then it'll give you one which you can copy and paste and, of course, integrate. Client secret, we'll punch that in. That's how you create your own Twitch application to handle this, which will then allow users to authenticate with it as well as your stream. And again, each streamer I'd recommend creates their own, but you can use mine optionally if you don't want to do that. Just, consider that you may run into rate requests, right? So for starters, we're going to talk about authenticating as a viewer. When you join the stream and you have authentication turned on, which can be, enabled / disabled with authentication true or false. Right now it's set to true. Viewers will have this link they can click to start the authentication process. It'll give them a code, which they can copy, and then click here to authorize their Twitch account, which if they go to this link, right, let me just make sure it's visible. Yeah, you can enter your code here and authorize this application. Simple as that. One thing I'd recommend to the Twitch devs, if they're watching this, I'd prefer if there was a way for Twitch viewers to confirm their Twitch ID without having to do that authorization process. If it could just be like a simple non-rate limited, enter your code and then confirm it's you without giving any special permissions or anything like that, that would be awesome. just so that I could link, the Minecraft UUID to a Twitch ID to know who's who without having to, ask the user to authorize anything. Even though that doesn't give them any permissions, it might turn some users off from using it. So the beauty of once you're authenticated as a viewer, you'll notice it doesn't ask you again to authenticate, because what that essentially did was just, verify your Twitch ID. Now it's stored in the server, and, you can just, it just has it, and you won't need to authenticate ever again. If you wanted to authenticate manually as a viewer, you could type /authenticate viewer. But as you can see, you're already authenticated, so that's not needed. As a viewer, by the way, it's very safe. The chat can't be used, unless you're a streamer, because there's already a chat for that. Now we're going to move on to essentially how to verify as a streamer. Now you may be wondering, how does the server know about who donated what to the stream? In order to authenticate as a streamer, you type /authenticate streamer. Similar to authenticating as a viewer, you get a code and an authorization link. You open that, you enter the code, except now it's going to ask you for more information. It's going to want to know your subscriber information, like who subscribes, and it's going to want to know when people donate bits. You authorize this, and then, here, hold on. I got to close this so that you know what it looks like. This is what it looks like after you enter that code. It gives you this approval message. And you could type stream shutdown for it to stop listening. Also, restarting the server will shut it down, because I wanted to avoid having the server, store private keys and refresh tokens. The way to do that was to essentially make it so that all authentication for the streamers reset when the server shuts down. So if you shut down the server, you'll just have to do that authentication part again when you restart. But that's, as you can see, a process that only takes a few seconds. The awesome thing about this is when a viewer donates, if they haven't authenticated yet, as long as the streamer has authenticated, that's totally fine. They could authenticate as a viewer after donating, and it'll still grant them the rewards, because it will remember, hey, this streamer has donated, or this viewer with this Twitch ID has donated this much, and now they've authenticated in the server. Let's grant them the rewards that they've obtained. So now your next question is, of course, how do we control how much, mob time a viewer gets for donating? So one of the important commands is bits per mob time minute. It's set to 20 by default, which basically means 20 bits for 1 minute of mob time. That means if someone donates 100 bits, they'll get 5 minutes of mob time. If you want to enable that time limit, you do mob time limit enabled true. Now when they become a mob, there will be a countdown at the top of the screen, which shows, how much time left they have as a mob. It's pretty awesome and pretty self-managing, which is great. The alternative, of course, what if you don't want them to have a time limit, but instead you'd rather it be hey, anyone who has tier 1 sub and above, like so, can, morph into a mob whenever. So then you do mob time limit enabled false, right? And I'm not tier 1, so I can't go into a mob right now. But this will essentially make it so that anyone who's, who's tier 1 sub or above can now have infinite morph time. It's perfectly configurable based on what the streamer wants. You could even have it like this, where there's no mob time limit and no sub tier required. And then any of your viewers can just, morph into any amount of mobs for any amount of time. Up to the streamer, of course. A couple of final things that I wanted to show off before wrapping this up. If you're, a chicken, I've worked on all these abilities. Chicken. Like a chicken, you don't fall. Oh no, he's in grass. I'm going to do a different one. That one's in a wall. Okay, this is the chicken I'm in, right? Since I'm a chicken, if I jump off this ledge, I float. And I also have 2 hearts like a chicken. If I'm a spider, look, there's a spider over here. I can now climb up walls and go into 1 block high areas. So it's all, it's all configured to work perfectly with the mob's abilities. Everything is well designed. And yeah, I'm super proud of this mod. I hope it can inspire really fun interactive streams. Um, I would love to try it if I ever had enough of an audience. I'd let my viewers log in and try to try to do what they can. Right now I'm a creeper, and all I gotta do is eat this puffer fish to blow up. Or she could go up to the player or their house to just, give them a really bad day. So in any case, that's the mod. I'm super proud of it. And I hope it makes a good Twitch submission.